Lillooet ʻlɪloʊɛt, also known as Steamsits, is the Interior Salishan language of the SDATIAMC, spoken in southern British Columbia, Canada, around the middle Fraser and Lillooet rivers. The dialect of the Lower Lillooet people uses the name Ucwalmícwts because Steamsits means the language of the people of Sat, i.e., the Upper Lillooet of the Fraser River. Lillooet is an endangered language with as few as 200 native speakers, practically all of whom are over 60 years of age. Regional varieties. Steamsits has two main dialects: Upper Steamsits, Lower Steamsits. Upper Steamsits is spoken around Fountain, Pavilion, Lillooet, and neighboring areas. Lower Steamsits is spoken around Mount Currie and neighboring areas. An additional subdialect called Ucwalmícwts is spoken within the Lower Steamsits dialect area, but there is no information available in Varieties. A common usage used by the bands of the Lower Lillooet River below Lillooet Lake is Ucwalmícwts. The Class 7A LCW language nest program at Mount Currie, home of the Lillooet, is conducted in the Lillooet dialect. As of 2014, the Coastal Corridor Consortium, an entity made up of board members from First Nations and educational partners to improve Aboriginal access to, and performance in post-secondary education and training, developed a Lillooet language program. Phonology Consonants. Steamsits has 44 consonants. Obstruents consist of the stops, affricates, and fricatives. There are 22 obstruents. Sonants consist of the nasals and approximants. There are 22 sonorants. Glottalized stops are pronounced as ejective consonants. Glottalized sonorants are pronounced with creaky voice n equals. The glottalized consonants of Steamsits contrast not only with plain consonants but also with sequences of plain consonant plus glottal stop, or glottalized consonant plus glottal stop, in either order. This holds for both the obstruents and the sonorants. Does not equal, 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 and does not equal, does not equal, does not equal, does not equal, does not equal. The dental approximants z are pronounced alternatively as interdental fricatives or as dental fricatives, depending on the dialect of Steamsits. There are 4 pairs of retracted and non-retracted consonants. Retraction on consonants is essentially velarization, although additionally, non-retracted t is phonetically laminal whereas retracted t is apical. T, T, L, 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 L. Among the post-velar consonants, the obstruents q, 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 chi, chi, are all post-velar, whereas the approximants are either pharyngeal or true uvulars. Vowel. Steamsits has 8 vowels. The phonetic realization of the phonemes are indicated in brackets to the right. All retracted vowels are indicated by a line under the vowel. These retracted vowels alternate morphophonemically. The non-retracted vowel a ranges from, because retracted e and non-retracted a can both pronounced, there is often phonetic overlap. Phonological processes of panthetic e. Post-velar harmony. Within roots, there is a restriction that all consonant and vowel retracted non-retracted pairs must be of the same type. That is, a root may not contain both a retracted and a non-retracted vowel or consonant. This is a type of retraced tongue root harmony involving both vowels and consonants that is an areal feature of this region of North America, shared by other Interior Salishan and non-Salishan languages. In addition to the root harmony restriction, some suffixes harmonize with the root to which they are attached. For instance, the inturative suffix '-tel-x will see. Orthography. The following table shows the vowels and consonants and the respective orthographic symbols. Grammar. SStīmsits has two main types of words: full words, variable words, invariable words, clitics, proclitics and clitics. The variable word type may be affected by many morphological processes, such as prefixation, suffixation, infixation, reduplication, and glottalization. SStīmsits, like the other Salishan languages, exhibits predicate argument flexibility. All full words are able to occur in the predicate, and any full word is able to appear in an argument, even those that seem verby, such as tak, go along, which as a noun is equivalent the noun phrase one that goes along. Reduplication. SStīmsits, as is typical of the Salishan family, has several types of reduplication that have a range of functions such as expressing plural, diminutive, aspect, etc. A more complicated type of reduplication is the internal reduplication used to express the diminutive. In this case, the consonant before a stressed vowel is reduplicated after the stressed vowel, and usually the vowel then changes to e. Examples are below. More than one reduplicative process can occur in a given word. SStīmsits has several other variants of the above types. Reduplication is further complicated by consonant glottalization. For details. Mood and modality. The subjunctive mood appears in 9 distinct environments, with a range of semantic effects, including weakening an imperative to a polite request, turning a question into an uncertainty statement, creating an ignorance-free relative. The SStīmsits subjunctive also differs from Indo-European subjunctives in that it is not selected by attitude verbs. SStīmsits has a complex system of subject and object agreement. There are different subject agreement paradigms for transitive versus intransitive predicates. For intransitive predicates, there are 3 distinct subject paradigms, one of which is glossed as subjunctive by Van Eyck and Davis. Sample text. The following is a portion of a story in Van Eyck told by Rosie Joseph of Mount Currie. SStīmsits, nilhaylts7 ace mama tihuzakweckla ultminan. Enas Q7 amlike Ku7 sipunsa. nilhtu7 stacks is tx laka 7 sa. tsicwaku7. nilhtu7 says wa7 quanas a7 Ucwalmícwts. wa7 Q7 tu7 ati7 zilim. takq7 nati7 pu7 yacwa. nilhq7 tu7 squanas lipin as q7. nilhq7 tu7 aylh stuts wa7 nalhaylh lati7 kapv tar. nilhq7 tu7 aylh sklaka7 minus q7 lati7 t squats aquilha k at nao7 q sports dequanzasa. English translation. This time it is Mama I'm going to talk about. She went that way to get some food from her root house. So she took along her bucket. She got there, and she stayed around taking potatoes. She was doing that, and then a mouse ran by there. So she grabbed it, she squeezed it, so she said, "You get all squashed now." So she opened her hand and she let go of what turned out to be a potato. It was a rotten potato that she had caught. Bibliography. Frank Beverly, Rose Whitley, and Jan van Eyck. Enquanlatenkala English to SStīmsits Dictionary. Volume 1, 2002, ISBN 1896719118X. Joseph, Marie. Ucwalmícwts Curriculum for Beginners. Mount Currie, B. C. T.S. Sedile Publishing House. ISBN 0920938000. The Rochelle, Martina, Van Eyck, Jan P. and Amp. Williams, Lorna. Ucwalmícwts, Lillooet Legends and Stories. Mount Currie B.C.T.S.Z.I.L. Publishing House. ISBN 0920938035. Lillooet Tribal Council. Introducing Steamsits, a primer. Lillooet, British Columbia. Lillooet Tribal Council. Mathewson, Lisa, and Beverly Frank. When I Was Small I1 Quakers. A Grammatical Analysis of SDATIMC Oral Narratives. First Nations Languages. Vancouver, UBC Press, 2005. ISBN 0-7748-10904. Poser, William J. The Status of Documentation for British Columbia Native Languages. Yinkadeen Language Institute Technical Report. The Vanderhoof, British Columbia, Yinkadeen Language Institute. The Van Eijk, Jan P. Quiestwe Ucwalmícwts Teach Yourself Lillooet, Ucwalmícwts Curriculum for Advanced Learners. Mount Currie B.C.T.S.Z.I.L. Publishing House. ISBN 0920938027. Van Eijk, Jan P. The Lillooet Language, Phonology, Morphology, Syntax. Amsterdam, Universiteit van Amsterdam. Van Eijk, Jan P. Lillooet Forms for Pretending and Acting Like. International Journal of Linguistics, 54, 106-110. The Van Eijk, Jan P. Intransitivity, Transitivity and Control in Lillooet Salish. In H. Pinkston and Amp. I. Greene. Unity in Diversity. Papers presented to Simon C. Dick on his 50th birthday. Dordrecht, Holland. Forres, Van Eijk, Jan P. CVC Reduplication and Infixation in Lillooet. Ine Matina and Amp. T. Montler, American Indian Linguistics and Ethnography in honor of Lawrence C. Thompson. University of Montana. Occasional Papers in Linguistics. Missoula, University of Montana. Van Eijk, Jan P. The Lillooet Language, Phonology, Morphology, Syntax. Vancouver, UBC Press. ISBN 0-7748-06257. Williams, Lorna. Van Eijk, Jan P. and Amp. Turner, Gordon. Quiestwe Ucwalmícwts. Ucwalmícwts Curriculum for Intermediates. Mount Currie B.C.T.S.Z.I.L. Publishing House. ISBN 0-920938019.